Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Cindy, and I'm so excited for our conversation this afternoon. With me, I have Lisa de Bruin, and Lisa and I met each other about, I think it was like a year ago. Hey, Lisa, how long ago was it?
Yes,
Yeah,
yeah, that was our first coffee that we had together.
yes, and it was so exciting. We were at one of the mining events, and we were in deep conversation about wellness and all the things that we're both passionate about. And I think through the conversation, we realized that we are both sort of in the same space with wanting to help, everyone in our community and making a difference. So for those of you on my page for the first time, I'm a holistic wellness coach, and I have been for the last 13 years. And my passion has always been to bring wellness into community spaces and corporate spaces. And for the longest time, I've always been looking for collaborative partners. So, of course, when I met Lisa, I was so excited because the work that she was doing at the time, and I'll give her an opportunity now to tell you guys a little bit more about it. But it was so fascinating for me to see, the work that she was busy with. And immediately, all of these ideas started sparking in my head of like, how can we bring the work that I'm doing with corporates and the work that she's doing with corporates together? So we've taken the last 3 months to put together a beautiful project, and yeah, just exciting to share it with all of you guys today. But before we go deeper into that, I would like to ask Lisa just to introduce herself and just share a little bit.
Thank you so much, Cindy. Yeah, it was such a privilege also to be part of a corporate environment for more than 21 years. And at one stage, after going through a restructuring process, I've decided that it's time. Maybe it is just a sign for me that it's time for me to move out. And I stayed basically for a year. I took a sabbatical. And during that time, it was just wonderful. My husband also decided that it's time for us to move out permanently to the farm.
Okay.
So that was also a big adjustment. And we moved out and I took that 1 year sabbatical. And during that time, I also said to myself, I just want to rest. I want to decide what I'm passionate about, what I want to do, where I want to get involved. And when I met Cindy, I immediately knew that this was a sign that this is what I want to do and this is where I want to start contributing. So I've been with a corporate environment, I've been in different positions, I've learned a lot. But eventually, what I decided is that I want to get involved in projects. I want to get involved in organizations where I can really have an impact. And I'm also very passionate to make sure that what I do align with my purpose. And that's the one thing that I also bring into the work that we are busy with at the moment. How do we connect people with their purpose? And that is the privilege that I have now, that I'm in a situation where I can really apply this to the work that I do and also to connect people to their purpose. So that
Yeah.
is the beauty about the work that we are busy with at the moment.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I love that we're both passionate about making a difference. And it was exactly the same for me when I just started with the whole collaboration with HiveMind. I obviously met Kuni and Charlene, co-owners of the HiveMind business, and it was exactly the same. They have the same vision in mind of, making a difference in the world, and how can we bring this concept of corporate wellness into spaces where it's definitely needed. And I think all of the seeds that we've planted in the last 3 years with that project is now coming into fruition, where we finally get an opportunity to make an impact in the world and to show people that there is a different way. And one of our slogans is actually learning how to live. And for me, as a therapist, for the longest time, I would often sit with people in session with me, and they say, they would love to be healthier. They would love to have a lifestyle where they make time for their mental or their emotional wellness, or sometimes it's physical, or they want to eat better or move more. But it feels like it's this mountain, that's in front of them. And one of the biggest lessons for me was, can we make it small steps, one little step at a time? And can we make it bite-sized changes into our lives where we give them the tips and tools on how to live their best life every day. And that's where this whole drive started of how can we put little offerings together, or just little conversations or workshops together where we give them the tips and the tools. And I think that is why I was so excited about the project that we've been working on, you and I. As I mentioned, it's building sustainable high performance teams. And Lisa and I worked on a series of 4 workshops, and it really is about showing people what the effect is of chronic stress and burnout, and giving them the tools on how to manage that, and obviously to be proactive. And then, of course, Lisa, your speciality in brain dynamics. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about that and just explain what that's all about.
Yes, that's wonderful. When I started looking into the brain profiling, I'm a Netlink brain profile practitioner. I started to do my own profile first and getting to know what my thinking preferences are, and also to understand how that impacts how I see the world, how I communicate, how I engage, I engage in my relationships. And that meant a world for me. It opened up a new world for me when I started to realize, when we moved out to the farm, we started renovating our house. And me and my husband were fighting every day because my preference is I can do multiple things at once, and I do make the connections. And my husband is very process driven, step by step approach. And I realized that if we continue like this, we're not going to live together in this beautiful house.
Yeah.
So I realized the way that I communicate with him, how I prefer to receive information and things were different. And I just went back to the brain profiles that we've done years ago, and just looking at that and understanding myself. I understood how I need to understand his way of thinking. And from there, I've renovated a house, and everything just worked out when we started to understand each other. And that's the thing with the brain profiles that we do. By understanding how you see the world and how you react, you will be able to understand others as well. And the brain profiles is also a very, very good tool to use to see how the dynamics in a team can work. And
Mm.
especially when we done it for the TICSA group, with the feedback that we received is to say, wow, this was amazing.
Mm.
Now I understand my better, and I can see why my husband is getting frustrated or why I'm frustrated with the children. So it's really something that have multiple uses, and it can add so much value.
Yeah.
So the session that we specifically do on applying whole brain thinking within the team dynamics as well, that added a lot of value to the people that attended that session already.
Yeah, it was definitely such a huge difference before the session and after the session. And just to give our viewers a little bit of background, so what Lisa and I have decided to do is we bring in the mental wellness, emotional wellness, and physical wellness into all of these sessions. And from my side as a therapist, I try and focus on educating people on the idea of understanding your physical body and the symptoms of the body and how to read that as a map almost. And also the different responses that we get from our nervous system. And what worked really well, I think, in our session was teaching people about the nervous system and how your nervous system responds depending on your specific personality, and then combining that with your brain profile. So you get almost like a holistic view of what your personality type is and how you as a person would deal with stress specifically. And I think what was beautiful in our sessions with Midland Partners as well is to see how the team came together at the end, and everyone had a little bit more compassion for one another, because all of a sudden they understood why people do the things that they do and react in the way they react. And it helps you to shift your perspective from taking something personal to really understanding, well, that's just part of their blueprint. That's who they are. And if I use the right language and first of all understand myself and my triggers, then it makes it so much easier for me to understand my colleagues or my family members, like you said. So yeah, I don't know
Mm.
if you feel like you want to add anything to the conversation with that.
Yeah, you know what? I think the most important thing is understanding yourself in order to understand others. Being
Mm,
aware of what's the things that trigger you and how you will react to that. You will understand why other people react in the same way in certain situations as well.
mhm,
So that self-awareness is most important, and that's what we address in all four the sessions that we also offer.
yeah. So in closing, guys, we just wanted to hop online today to introduce ourselves and to give you a little bit of an introduction on what's to come. But we will be sharing a lot more about these workshops and what it entails. And of course, if you guys want to reach out, all of the information will be online. You're welcome to send us an email or give us a call. And we would be so excited to get involved with your team and yeah, just share what we are passionate about with your group of people.